Pay attention to the young woman stepping out of the black SUV in this parking garage security footage. She is 24-year-old Alexis Rivera, a rising fashion model from Miami. She's checking her phone, adjusting her portfolio bag, looking excited. A man approaches from the shadows at exactly 3:17 p.m. He's wearing a photographer's vest, carrying professional camera equipment. They shake hands warmly. She follows him toward the stairwell exit, smiling and animated. Alexis believed this was a test shoot for a major campaign. She did not know it yet, but this was the last time she would be seen alive.
March 8, 2023, Miami, Florida. Alexis Rivera had been missing for over 36 hours. She had not shown up for a confirmed runway fitting at her agency on March 7th, a booking worth $15,000 that she would never miss. Her phone went directly to voicemail after 4:45 p.m. on March 6th. Her roommate and fellow model, Carmen Ortega, contacted the Miami-Dade Police Department at 11 a.m. on March 7th to file a missing persons report. The initial police response was procedural. Alexis was 24, an adult professional with an active modeling career. The case was logged as a potential voluntary absence. Carmen Ortega did not accept this classification. She knew Alexis was meticulous about her schedule and would never miss a major fitting. Alexis had left her apartment keys, makeup kit, and her beloved rescue dog behind. She had a Vogue Italia callback scheduled for the following week. Carmen insisted to the responding officers that something was very wrong. Alexis Marie Rivera was living the dream that thousands of aspiring models chase, but few achieve. At 24, she had transformed from a small-town girl from Kissimmee, Florida, into a working fashion model with representation at Elite Model Management Miami. Her portfolio included campaigns for Revolve, Pretty Little Thing, and a recent editorial spread in Cosmopolitan. Her Instagram account had grown to 127,000 followers, who watched her document the fashion world she had worked so hard to enter. She lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Wynwood with Carmen, splitting the rent and supporting each other through the unpredictable cycle of modeling work. She was close with her family, her mother, Rosa, a hospital administrator, her brother Miguel, a high school teacher, and her younger sister, Sophia. She video called them every Sunday without fail. Those who knew Alexis described her as driven, professional, and unusually grounded. She had recently been shortlisted for the Vogue Italia New Faces campaign, a career-defining opportunity. But beneath the glamorous Instagram posts was a harsh financial reality. Despite her growing success, Alexis was barely breaking even. She took every legitimate booking she could get, but had recently started exploring higher-paying opportunities, test shoots for new photographers, commercial campaigns, anything that might accelerate her career and stabilize her finances. What she didn't know was that someone had been watching her Instagram very carefully, studying her ambition, and crafting the perfect opportunity to exploit it. The breakthrough came from Carmen. On March 8th, she remembered Alexis mentioning a test shoot for a potential Zara campaign. Carmen accessed Alexis's laptop. They shared passwords for emergencies and found her email inbox. Buried among booking confirmations was a thread from castingazenithmediagroup.net. The sender identified himself as Marcus Hendricks, a commercial photographer. The emails dated back 2 weeks, progressing through seemingly legitimate details. $800 for 4 hours. Portfolio images included. Time, 3 p.m., March 6th. The final email contained an address, Level 3 parking structure, 2847 North Miami Avenue, a public parking garage, not a studio. The email explained that construction at their main studio required using their secondary space accessed through the garage. Carmen immediately contacted Detective Lisa Martinez, who had been assigned to the case. Detective Martinez, a 14-year veteran, recognized the pattern instantly. Fake casting emails, parking garage meetings. This was textbook predatory behavior. She obtained the parking garage's security footage within 2 hours. What the footage showed turned a missing person case into a suspected abduction. At 3:14 p.m. on March 6th, Alexis's Uber dropped her at the garage entrance. She walked confidently through level 2, carrying her black portfolio bag, wearing a white crop top and jeans. At 3:17 p.m., a man approached. He wore a photographer's vest and carried a professional camera bag. They spoke briefly. Alexis smiled. Then she followed him toward the stairwell exit. Alexis never reappeared on any camera. She had walked into that garage and vanished completely. Detective Martinez assembled a task force that included cybercrime specialists and forensic video analysts. Forensic analyst David Chen spent hours enhancing the footage. The man was approximately 40-45 years old, white or light-skinned Hispanic, approximately 5'11", medium build, with a trim beard. Everything about his appearance screamed legitimate photographer. But Officer James Tran discovered something chilling. The email address had been created exactly 22 days before first contact with Alexis. The website displayed a professional-looking photography portfolio, every image stolen from a legitimate photographer's website. The parking garage was public. There was no secondary studio space. The entire setup was a fabrication. Traffic cameras captured a silver Honda CR-V leaving the garage at 3:21 p.m. heading toward I-95. The license plate was partially visible, FL tag beginning with JKR. Detective Martinez issued a BOLO alert. They now had a face, a vehicle, and a timeline. But they were already 46 hours behind. The partial license plate became the breakthrough. Detective Martinez's team ran every possible combination. By cross-referencing with male owners aged 35-50 within a 50-mile radius of Miami and registered photography businesses, she found him at 11:47 p.m. on March 8th, Marcus Anthony Hendricks, age 42, of Homestead, Florida. His vehicle, a 2019 silver Honda CR-V, carried license plate JKR 4891. A background check revealed disturbing history. In 2014, Hendricks had been arrested for battery and false imprisonment involving a 21-year-old woman who responded to his Craigslist ad for modeling work. The case was dismissed when the victim declined to testify. In 2018, a civil lawsuit was filed against him by parents of a 19-year-old aspiring model who claimed he drugged her. The suit was settled out of court with a non-disclosure agreement. The IP address used to create the fake email traced back to Hendricks' home. His Google search history revealed searches for Alexis Rivera Model Miami, dating back 5 weeks, along with dozens of other Miami models' names. By 2 a.m. on March 9th, detectives had assembled outside Hendricks' residence. They had a name, a pattern, and a location, but they still didn't have Alexis. At 6 a.m. on March 9th, a tactical unit executed a search warrant. Officers found Hendricks asleep. He was taken into custody without resistance, showing no visible emotion. His first words were, "What is this about?" His tone was calm, almost bored. Forensic teams searched the property. The living room was a photography studio with professional equipment. Everything appeared legitimate on the surface. But in the bedroom, investigators found Alexis Rivera's belongings. Her portfolio bag in the closet, her iPhone in the nightstand drawer powered off, SIM card removed, her gold hoop earrings on the bathroom counter. In the garage, they discovered his Honda CR-V. In the cargo area beneath a tarp, they found a black canvas drop cloth with dark stains that tested positive for human blood. Several long strands of dark hair were collected from the carpet. The most damning evidence came from his laptop, the entire email correspondence with Alexis. Screenshots of at least 15 other Miami models' profiles, all young women, all with followings between 50,000 and 200,000. But the most chilling discovery was his browser history, time-stamped March 6th at 7:23 p.m., How to Dispose Body Florida, Everglades Remote Access Points. How long until missing person investigation? Marcus Hendricks had researched how to make her disappear. The search history provided the critical clue. He had taken her somewhere in the Everglades. Detective Martinez interrogated Hendricks at 8:45 a.m. He had waived his right to an attorney. "Mr. Hendricks, do you know why you're here?" "I assume it's about the girl from the parking garage," he replied casually. "What girl would that be?" "Alexis, the model. I figured you'd eventually trace the emails to me." Hendricks admitted to creating the fake email and meeting Alexis. He claimed she came to his house willingly for a test shoot. After 90 minutes, she asked about payment. When he said he didn't have the cash, she became angry and stormed out around 5:30 p.m. If she left, why is her phone in your nightstand? Maybe she forgot it. Detective Martinez slid across his Google search history, showing disposal queries time-stamped hours after Alexis supposedly left. Hendricks stared at the image. "I want a lawyer." The interview ended. Hendricks had admitted to being the last person to see her, but he refused to reveal where she was. The race now depended on his search history, the Everglades. Forensic analysts examined his phone. GPS data showed his phone traveling from his residence at 6:47 p.m. on March 6th, heading west toward the Everglades. The phone stopped at 8:14 p.m. at a location 18 miles west of Florida City, remained stationary for 37 minutes, then returned to his residence. On March 10th at dawn, a multi-agency search operation converged on the area. The terrain was brutal. Thick mud, standing water, mosquitoes, and alligators. At 11:23 a.m., a cadaver dog named Ranger gave a strong alert 40 yards north of the road. Beneath a pile of branches and mud, they found disturbed earth. 18 inches below the surface, wrapped in the same black canvas from his vehicle, they discovered Alexis Rivera's body. She was still wearing the white crop top and jeans. Her distinctive hummingbird tattoo on her left wrist was visible. Detective Martinez called Alexis's parents at 4:01 p.m. Rosa Rivera's screams could be heard through the phone. Carmen Ortega collapsed. The autopsy was performed on March 11th by Dr. Patricia Okonkwo. The cause of death was asphyxiation due to ligature strangulation, deep furrow marks around Alexis's neck, the hyoid bone fractured, petechial hemorrhaging in her eyes. This was not quick. It took several minutes. It was deliberate. She had defensive wounds on both hands. DNA beneath her fingernails belonged to Marcus Hendricks. She had fought for her life. Toxicology found rohypnol in her system. He had drugged her. Alexis's DNA was found in 3 locations in his CRV. Fibers from his drop cloth matched fibers on her clothing. Soil from the burial site matched soil on his tires and shovel. A rope strand in his garage exactly matched fibers from the ligature marks on her neck. On March 12th, Hendricks was interrogated again with his attorney present. Detective Martinez laid out the evidence. "We've recovered Alexis Rivera's body. We have her DNA in your vehicle. We have your phone's GPS at the burial location. We have rope from your garage that matches the ligature marks." Hendricks was silent for 3 minutes. Then, barely above a whisper, she figured it out. During the shoot, she started asking about the Zara campaign, wanted contracts, references. She said she was leaving and would report me. I couldn't let her do that. I had other models scheduled. "So you strangled her?" "I grabbed the rope. I did what I had to do. Then I panicked. I wrapped her up and drove to the Everglades. I thought if I buried her deep enough, no one would find her." "Mr. Hendricks, you searched for disposal methods before you killed her." Hendricks said nothing more. The state of Florida versus Marcus Anthony Hendricks began September the 18th, 2023. The prosecution's case unfolded over 4 weeks. The trial opened with the parking garage CCTV footage. The jury watched Alexis walk into frame, her whole life ahead of her. They watched Hendricks approach. They watched her smile and follow him. Several jurors reacted when they realized this was the last time she appeared on camera. Carmen testified through tears, describing Alexis as her sister in every way that mattered. She trusted people, Carmen said. She thought if someone claimed to be a professional photographer, they must be telling the truth. Officer Tran presented digital evidence showing how Hendricks researched Alexis for weeks. Dr. Okonkwo explained how Alexis died. This required deliberate, continuous pressure. The victim would have been conscious and aware for most of it. Several jurors looked away. 2 were crying. The jury watched the interrogation video. They heard Hendricks admit to strangling Alexis because she figured it out, and he couldn't let her ruin it. Rosa Rivera, Alexis's mother, testified last. Through tears, she told the jury about her daughter's dreams. Alexis believed in people. She believed hard work and talent would be enough. Marcus Hendricks used that trust to murder her. The jury deliberated for 9 hours and 42 minutes. On October 17th at 10:12 a.m., they returned their verdict. Rosa and Miguel Rivera sat in the front row, holding hands. Judge Ramirez asked the defendant to rise. On the charge of murder in the first degree, how do you find? Guilty. Rosa let out a sob. On the charge of kidnapping, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of sexual battery, how do you find? Guilty. Every verdict, guilty, guilty, guilty. 3 weeks later, Rosa Rivera addressed Hendricks at sentencing. She looked him in the eyes. You saw your daughter as prey. You studied her, hunted her, and killed her because she realized you were a predator. Alexis had a future. She had dreams. She had a family that loved her. You took all of that. I will never forgive you. I hope you spend every day for the rest of your miserable life knowing what you destroyed. Judge Ramirez delivered the sentence. Mr. Hendricks, for the crime of first-degree murder, I hereby sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For kidnapping, 30 years to run consecutively. For sexual battery, 15 years consecutively. You will spend the rest of your natural life in the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections. Marcus Hendricks showed no reaction. He was led out in handcuffs. He never looked back, never acknowledged Rosa's statement, never showed even a flicker of humanity. Rosa turned to Detective Martinez and whispered, "Thank you for bringing my baby home." Outside the courthouse, the family made no statement. They simply walked to their car, holding each other, carrying the weight of a grief that would never fully end.